очаквам още колеги от други места, но защото все пак точността е царска привилегия и не би трябвало да оставаме по-назад от шведите, така че предлагам да започваме днес. Най-напред искам да ви поздравя с добре дошли и студентите ни, и гостите на Нов български университет. Много съм щастлива да ви посрещам тук, да ви посрещам ние всички тук, най-напред като представител на университета, който, както личи от неговото лого, не се бие от разнообразието. Ние се стараем да бъдем разнообразни, не се опасяваме да бъдем различни и се опитваме да правим нови неща. И се опитваме да развиваме области, научни области, в които не се срещат в България и рядко се срещат дори в Европейския съюз, каквото е всъщност устойчивото развитие. Това е едно сравнително ново животно в общественото пространство, за което мнозина от вас вероятно са чували и на което ще бъде посветена днешната ни лекция. От друга страна, бих искала да благодаря специално на тук присъстващите колеги от Департамент Право, асистент Памела Кучкова, която доведе свои студенти и колеги, колегите от Департамент Политически науки, колегите от Департамент Икономика и бизнес администрация, които всъщност са домакини на нашето събитие днес, и специално да благодаря на Гражданско сдружение Щастливеца, също има негови представители тук, без които това събитие нямаше да може да се осъществи. Много искам да благодаря също и на тук присъстващата Десислава Алексова, която представлява Департамент науки за земята и околната среда и с която много добре работим и надявам се ще продължаваме да работим и занапред. Така че вие разбирате, че това е едно партньорско събитие, едно интердисциплинарно събитие, едно съвместно събитие и като такова нещо, то се организира много трудно. Но това всъщност е и смисълът на устойчивото развитие, да съчетае в себе си на пръв поглед несъчетаеми неща и всъщност да покаже, че може да има устойчивост там, където има съвместно хармонично усилие за създаване на общество. Там, където икономическите, социалните и екологичните измерения на всяка една човешка дейност се намират в хармония. Това означава устойчивост. Или ако искате да припомним прословутата дефиниция от доклада Брунтон, нашето общо бъдеще, това е развитие, което позволява на настоящото поколение да посрещне своите потребности, без това да пречи на бъдещите поколения да посрещнат своите потребности. Това е една изключително амбициозна задача, която предполага отговорност, а отговорност означава и свобода. И преди да представя нашия лектор, само искам да наблегна на един много важен момент от устойчивото развитие, а то е, че не може да има устойчиво развитие без гражданско участие. Четвъртият стълб, пресечният на устойчивото развитие, освен трите, които виждате тук, социалният, екологичният и икономическият, които се преплитат и които образуват едно цяло, това е участието на всеки един от нас. Всеки един от нас, всички актьори, както ги наричат обществото, бизнес, правителство, национални държави, местни власти, образователни институции. Ролята на образованието е изключително важна. Пресечната точка, бих казала, всичко това е образованието. Няма устойчиво развитие без демокрация, няма устойчиво развитие без образование. Устойчиво развитие иска образовани хора. Да се надявам, че ние ще направим своя малък принос днес, за това да започнем един дебат. Един голям дебат ми се иска, това е нашата амбиция на тук присъстващите колеги. Един голям интердисциплинарен дебат в университетска и извън университетска среда, който започнахме още на времето с проекта Място за бъдеще. Една гора, където да можем да общуваме. Не само на национално, но и на международно ниво. Ето защо искам да ви представя днес с голяма радост нашият лектор Франк Дюбуа. Франк Дюбуа е историк в университета в Бургундия, изследовател в Дома на науките за човека в Дижон, който в продължение на 15 години се занимава с проблематиката на европейските политики с устойчиво устойчиво развитие и екологична политика. И който също така работи от други години към Съвета на Европа за разработване на прословутата конвенция за опазване на ландшафта. Така че днес вие ще имате възможност да чуете нещо много интересно, именно как нещо толкова сложно, толкова комплексно и толкова предизвикателно като Европейската стратегия за устойчиво развитие от Гьотеборг намира своето локално приложение в един устойчиво развива се регион, какъвто е регион на Bulgaria във Франция. По-специално как колегите от Франция, работейки интердисциплинарно, работейки съвместно с местната власт, която е много активна, образователната сфера, бизнеса и цялото гражданско общество, се опитват да изградят един устойчив град. Което давам думата на благодарение на нашите депутати. Точно давам думата на
everybody. Thank you very much for hosting me. I would like really to thank the New Bulgarian University to receive me tonight, and special thanks to Radosveta Krastanova for receiving me all the weeks. It was really rich, and I hope the present lecture will be also rich. The point today is to talk to you about, as I'm historian, and in few months there will be the Earth Summit in Rio, in Brazil, about the evaluation of all environmental politics in the world. And 10 years ago I was with the European Commission and UNESCO centers to Johannesburg in South Africa, and so I will talk to you about the meaning of the European Sustainable Development Strategies. I will be not only in law or public policies. I will try to focus on historical evolution for our countries, which means that we became from human society against nature, and now we are maybe facing human against human, and I will try to show you the matters of maybe a rise of what I call ecoism. It's not against green movements, but it's maybe the misunderstanding of the sustainable development. And so in the second part, I will try to show you sustainable practice in Burgundy, where we try in all sectors with a multi-scale taking care. I will try to show you some practice because we have a lot of similarity between France and Bulgaria. So let's begin. On Earth, we can, as historians, find unconsciousness of environmental concern with people like Le Baron Haussmann in France, where they try to remove some from illness with mosquitoes on the 19th century. But a real concern began with the Second World War in Europe, with the human environment matters. And it was starting with the beginning of the European community, with the exodus. The people find, because of the illness there were, and the movements, the migration of the population all over the world. It was more than 5 million people moving in Europe, and it was sanitarian matters. And what we can say, it was, it's kind of crowded people and what we call later overpopulation we can face in Anglo-Saxon countries. And it was a frame for the nature of politics. And we could see crowded cities in India. There were matters of illness with the Briha refugees. We can see also another mind matter is the atomic destruction with the bomb, the A-bomb. People realized they could die not just because of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb, but also because, like Pasteur said in France, we can die with something we can't see. And the environment is what is around us. And with the atomic destruction, people start to fear, not in an individual position, but in a collective. So what I want to say is people become to fear of population with massive contamination. And you will see, I will show you several things. And so in 1952, the European Community starts with the help of the Council of Europe to take care of human environment. And Europe become to be autonomous. But a real matter is a matter of names of words. At the time, we talk about nature, and the member states of Europe, they have no idea of what we could do about saving the nature, saving the plants, saving animals, and we can see matters of pollution with agricultural systems, but the member states say, well, see with the European community, and for the European community they say, we don't know, let's see with the FAO and UN agencies, and the UN agencies say, well, we are technical, so it's not concern for us. So the biodiversity concern is not for right now. And it came in 1972 with the first UN conference on human development in Stockholm, and it helps European member states to build concern about environment at this time. And with the help of biology and natural science experts, member states, they start to realize the meaning of the biodiversity. Ecology is an old name faced by Robert Haeckel and also in 19th century, but it was really technical, it was for specialists. And it became popular, but slowly. No money, no concern from the public and the stakeholders, and with the exodus I told you and the matters in the 1970s, it's a matter of people, of development. Europe has to face development without or USSR or without USA, and they want to know how they can face their own survey without dependency. And development, nature became one topic that Europe can use to grow and to be autonomous. And it starts in experts and in different disciplines, different sectors, to have this concern growing everywhere. As you can see, there is an evolution of the meaning of the concern. At the beginning, everybody denied, and now we have member states, we have governments, they maybe just want to give money for sustainable development. So there is a gap, or there is an evolution from one point to now. The 1970s help also after the strikes in Europe in 1968. It helps epistemology concern with deep ecology in United States, but also in Norway with Arnes, and we can face with Murray Bookchin and a lot of people growing new movement and new ideology that can help people to make a choice. And in France, we can see that there is a balance from the syndicates, where French people they were really proud of and supportive, and with 1970 they switch to personal concern, to individual concern, and one of the first concern that people want to do is to take care of their own around environment. So it helps to see several movements and coming here. But the most impressive people who are talking about environment at the time, they are more British and American, and they really are afraid of this population movement, and we can see kind of ecological Malthusian movements growing all around Europe, in Germany, in UK, in France, in Belgium, in Netherlands, and we can see it also in Australia, Japan, and they are really concerned about the population. Population is the concern at the time. It's not natural environment, it's really human environment concern. And we can see with people like Garrett Harding, Paul Ehrlich, new kind of topics, new kind of models, new kind of algorithms that they could help people to have consciousness about taking care of the biodiversity. It starts with the tragedy of the common, and the idea that's growing in the 80s is the carrying capacity, is that Earth, is it able to sustain the carrying capacity? And there is growing the idea of sustaining Earth, sustaining system, because of the production development models that we use in Europe, and is maybe we are going forward, but maybe we can see the reality. Maybe right now we are on the same way. And it helps for a new kind of model as Mathis Wackernagel in the 90s with the ecological footprints, or with the Club of Rome report made by the couple of Meadows for the Club of Rome, and they all face the population matters. That maybe we are too many humans on the same place, so we have to take care of the natural resources. So this is an illustration in 1970 in Netherlands of where they are already the concern of what we have to do with ecology, because in this way maybe we will have no solution. Before the 1969, it was people were able to dream about living on the moon or living on Mars, and this matter of overpopulation was no more. But in 1970, it ends. The dreams breaks, and so people became to be what we say sometimes a kind of doomsayer, to really make an electroshock, to push people to realize that they have really good concern to protect the nature, to protect human. And we can realize at this time that there are two ways of talking about nature, about biodiversity, about environment. The first one is the easy, not easy one, but I'm thinking about the wildlife movement in the 60s, were really active with the UICN, and it's to be in a seductive way with kids, and what we could say postcard nature. If we help kids to realize that there is cute animals like panda, like koala, like dolphin, so we will take care of the animals and of the nature. And there is the other way, which is more alarmist way, and start the fear of the population, again with the illness and overcrowding system, and it's the population who destroy the nature, the good nature, and we can see facing protective movement. This is carrying capacity network in the United States. They are in Washington DC, around the White House, and this is really all the concern about balance, what we need to protect, or Earth or people. We must make the choice. There is no alternative. This is also because it was really brilliant from them to make some shame that people have a real impact, immediate impact, and it was the Donella Meadows, which made the Global Village, and she wrote an article in 1992 to help people understanding that if we are 1,000 or 100 people in a village, community will start to face and to fight between the one or the other. And so we are becoming on behavioral matters that maybe it's in our brain, maybe it's a consciousness problem, and it helps for one way of psychology, but also to the public health system take care of this topic of biodiversity, and they transpose the meaning of protecting nature to human people for public policies in medics. But as I told you, with the doomsayer systems, we can have some immediate fear that we can face, and people start to have green scare. And we can, in history, as in economy, we can sometimes find some cycle. Each 30 years, people are bored of this environmental concern, and we can have some eco-scepticism growing up. But with the crossing ideas, we can face new goals, new matter, and we can find new solutions. And for living people with the depression in the 80s, since the 80s, people start to think, is it really possible to save the planet, or do we have to be a kind of neo-positive people, just playing, using Earth and die, and next generation, whatever, what happened. And at this time start the idea of we have to take care of Earth and nature, not just for us, but for the future people, for our kids. And with the Norway Prime Minister and former environmental Minister Gro Harlem Brundtland in Norway start with the European Council committee, then the UN Committee of Sustainable Development. Concern is coming in reality. And I will try to show you with some movies what people could be maybe helped to have new idea about nature and about human matters, and the human became a kind of parasite. It could be shocking, and I try to shock you sometimes, but you will think about this next month. And I will show you a few movies from the 60s till 2005, movies that help people, consciously or not, to think differently about nature. And well, there is also kind of two ways. It's simple and reduction, but first way is to show human people that Earth can be a destruction. You maybe read some books about Jules Verne or about H.G. Wells from the 19th century. The ideas are really old, but we just have maybe new techniques or new tools to help people understand. And it starts in the 1950s with a TV show called Twilight Zone. I don't know if you know, but there is a specific episode called The Shelter, and we can start to see people being crazy, suspicious about nuclear alert, and we can see interaction between people. And this is a sequence from Peter Watkins' The War Game. The movie in 1964 was kind of first TV reality show. I let you listening of the.
During a recent meeting of the Ecumenical Council at the Vatican, an English and an American bishop expressed the view that the Church must tell the faithful that they should learn to live with, though need not love, the nuclear bomb, provided that it is clean and of a good family. Rochester in Kent. Now 2 square miles of
because of the reality of this movie, the United Kingdom decided to forbid distribution in the country. So it's just 15 years ago we can see the movie in public places, and because of the TV. It was really shocking. At the same time, there were
what is technically known as a firestorm.
A Chris Marker movie that was more philosophical, and it was maybe and another example is in 1983, the same vision but with the color TV, And this is a movie called The Day After. We remind the name The Day After. It's about an attack between USSR and USA. We are in the imagination of a Third World War at the time, just before the code. And we can see public panic, collective panic. And the US government decide not to use the AIMS code that make a kind of censorship on movies. So they just decide to make it a TV movie. So a B movie that nobody will take some interest with it. So it never came on theater. But we can see at the time, 3 years before the Chernobyl accident, the consciousness of what could happen with an atomic bomb. So people start to think, and we can see real image from a nuclear test in, well, there is it's in Nebraska, I think, nuclear testing, the H bomb. And we can see everything from the electromagnetic explosion till the winter, atomic winter there. And the movie starts with, just after that, we can see some civil society strike, and some military people in the movie start to, this is US Marines, and they start to think, well, I have to protect my country, I want to serve my country, but now what I have to choose to serve the country, people, they panic, they don't care about nothing, they just want to grab and to rape and to steal everything, to destroy, and I'm here to save my country, and what about my own family? And we start to see a new idea. The other way of movies, because you maybe saw a kind of Mad Max movies or Planet of the Apes, so all the time is the destruction of movie, of Earth, and it's all about the fault of human people. And the other way coming is the nature strike back. That how in movies nature can take control of Earth with or without human people. And it really starts after Planet of the Apes in 1968 with this movie Soylent Green in 1973. And the movie, this is the beginning of the movie with the facing of human pollution on Earth. And we can see a real natural heritage, natural Earth, and everything is about or because of the human people. And with the help of Japanese people like Akira Kurosawa or Katsuhiro Otomo with a manga cartoon called Akira, which fear also Japanese people because of the new nuclear war. Roland Emmerich used the idea of the Godzilla because of the nuclear bomb. And because of the French, at the time, they are making nuclear tests in the war, in Pacific. And we can see a monster, nature, make born a new monster to fight against human people. You see nature preparing to face human people and it's just because I told you about overpopulation, and the matter is not only the destruction of nature, but also what we call urban spread. And And Roland Emmerich tried to show people that even the biggest city of the world and the best city of the world can be destroyed. To make it back, like in the Planet of the Apes, we can have the European citizen. They can be destroyed by the monster. And it helps people to think about something new. And we try another time with the day after tomorrow. This is the real name. It reminds the other movie in the 80s. And with the technology and the techniques, now we can really use the nature to fight against urban citizenship and human population who are polluting the planet. So now the real nature strikes back. So it's in French. So what is important here is the Prime Minister and the Minister of Defense. At first time they didn't want to listen to experts about climate change, this guy, and but they have to face that nature is fighting, and with tornadoes like yesterday night, and now they have to make their own exodus to Mexico. And we are in 2003, and there Americans, they can realize, oh, we want to build some walls against the Mexican, and now maybe we need to go to Mexico. And the President of the United States is telling that all Americans have to move to Mexico. And I remember when I was with American citizens, they are really afraid of that. And they start to change their mentality and behavior. And this movie was the open session to help some people like Soderbergh to make a movie about Erin Brockovich, so Low Pursuit, about destruction. And it was also a movie that helps Vice President Al Gore to make his new round of conference. To maybe you heard about the Inconvenient Truth. The movie came out in 2006, where he started the conference, his second cycle of conference in 2004. So nature strike back. But population is not only the matter. There is another matter, is that all governments of all over the world, they want to work together and to have solutions, but it's not always easy, because if we just focus on Europe, you can see in 1981 the influence between all agencies and contract the member states they sign with NATO, with Occidental European Union, with the Council of Europe, with the European Community, with the European Union, with the OCDE. So it's really complex, and they want to make new laws to face sustainable development, but it's not easy, because they already signed contracts for 10, 15, 12 or 50 years, and they can't do anything else. Because at the time they are still afraid of a new Third World War. And we can see again and again the illness and the fear of contamination all over the world. And in Europe we had some matters with cows and Creutzfeldt-Jakob transmission between between cows and humans. And just yesterday, Belgium is facing a matter with the bruxelliose that we call, and it's kind of the same matter than grey paper. And all the 80s, all the 90s, all the 2000 years, we see this matter of illness and poor people that will destroy the rich world of Occidental countries. And there is also the fear of the mosquitoes. In US, they try to spread some DDT to kill all those mosquitoes, but it's just not easy to do it. And in Europe, we know also about the people from the other side of the Mediterranean Sea that can spread the illness in Europe. And we can see now also a lot of movies and a TV show like the last one with Steven Spielberg, Terra Nova, the fear of human against human people. One of the last movie that really would explain the matter of the World Health Organization trying to face massive moves from people. And Europe tried to solve those kind of matters, being equal without ideology behind, and they drove the Sustainable Development Strategy. But how to do that? They try to use the precaution principle that they could be used in public health or in agriculture, and it's also good for the environmental sector at the end. And the idea with the Aarhus Convention is to try to secure people's mind with the public participation and public information transparency. So at the time, Europe started to give information about climate matters or maybe earthquake matters, and European Union starts to take into account the fears and the hope of their own citizens. And what are they? They want a better economic system, they want natural spaces, they want a good landscape view, they want to take care about the waste. Right now, Africa is facing also the matter of waste storage, and to take care about water, because in the idea that we need to survive, we need water, it's essential, and it helps to take care about natural resources. Before it was really hard to understand this kind of thing. And again, the epidemic spread, that is, and all those topics help to take into account really abstract concept, beginning clear the quality of life. Quality of life in private life, but also in a professional life. And to make this strategy something that is able, the European Union tried to take care of the public sensitivity and try to know how to make sanctions against the member states who are not really in a good way. So for the new member states, as you are, so before 2004, European Union decided to make a frame that for new member states they will have to take into account environmental principles and to defend the biodiversity. It was not the case for the original member states. For Germany, France, it was not an obligation to do it. And so we start to take care of the territories, of the landscape.
Sorry, what is this cap in French? Un changement de cap.
Oh, it's a new way, new direction. So, and again, European Union has to face with public health and sanitarian risk. And so they decide with Germany presidency of European Union on 2007 to take care of the evolution of population and what we call sanitarian holding system, that to help public system and to help population to with dependency and new illness like Parkinson or. And so they decided for the future to limit the chemical risk. The private companies and sometimes member states, they ask the European Union, but what we can do with this matter of chemicals? It's what I will explain just right now. And they decide to protect the new generations in the Sustainable Development Principle. So they make the scale project to give money in biology, medicine, and all science who can face the youngness matters and brain disorder, behavior disorder. So we can have kind of protein plan because Occidental countries, they eat too much. We are North against South countries, and in the way of the growth of performance, of evaluation, of no quantity matter of food, but of repartition of food on Earth, they need to take care of the balance. They have to apply this idea. And because the former Prime Minister of Netherlands, Wim Kok, he has the mission to transfer the public services to private sector because countries, they have no more money. So we need to face innovative production. We need new techniques, and scientists and academic people, they try to make a new innovative project like to make microbiological stamps on the yogurt or fresh product to see if there virus or something else, but the industry, they don't want to apply it because consumer, they can be afraid of buying those products. And because we are in a behavioral matter, there is also stereotypes. And in France, we have a big one. It's because we like food, we like gastronomy, and maybe you know French with the beret, bread and smoking. And so when we support this idea, we can't be against the idea of eat less and take care of the food and of the lipids and this is kind of French heroes, and all the time we support French product against the Chinese or imitation all over the world. And France is always in a gastronomic idea principle to support good flesh, good time together, wine, good food, good spices, and it's really hard to break the myth because with the new techniques in marketing and